Anyway, hi, welcome to Eternal Love of Drama, channel where two drama enthusiasts share our strong and uninformed opinions about the dramas that we have recently watched. Um, we don't know much about Chinese drama land or like cinema culture or famous actors and actresses, but we do, I guess, have lots of opinions anyway. This week we're going to start off with another arbitrary drama award. So why don't you tell us what the drama award is?
This week, our drama award, arbitrary drama award, goes to the best person animal. And by that, I mean person animal hybrid, which of course only occurs in the sort of like fantasy genre of dramas. And we have a couple of different nominees. So in multiple dramas, there are fox demons, and there's a couple of like the main characters in 10 Miles Peach Blossoms are fox demons. So we have the fox demons, and another nominee is the Sleepless Princess, who gets to be 12 different animals, and some of them are very funny and cute. And of course, we have Boya in the Yin-Yang Master, who becomes a vermilion bird. So, who do you give an award to this week?
Oh, and I feel like you forgot a category of like humans who try to emulate animals, and so it's not quite the pure hybrid, but in Handsome Siblings, weren't there 12 zodiac killing people that tried to
I feel like they are actually a little more than like they're weirdly animal
like their whole kung fu matches the animal.
Yeah, it's very strange. I can't award that
weirdness. Okay, I mean, because the creepy rat is like, I'm gonna say the rat guy, because the rat guy is an interesting contrast to who I think should be the winner, because the rat guy was super creepy and he was gross and he had like his hair was like all falling out and he had like bad teeth.
He was like real rat-like.
He was gross.
Yeah.
But then in Sleepless Princess, she becomes a little mouse and she's so cute. So I'm gonna have to give her the award, because I could actually like watch her, and it was adorable the way she ate everything and like gnawed the bed to pieces, and
or like woke up inside a chest of things that she had eaten. Yeah, yes, that was pretty cute. I also really enjoyed her tiger. The last one where she like was like really worried because she thought she was going to be all scary and fierce, and really she was like a tiger kitten. It was very funny. But I feel like an honorable mention goes to Boya in Yin-Yang Master, because like when I think of like birds, like picture a bird. They have like little claws and like skinny little arms, and he's like punching people. In his like, he's got like the best of both. Like he gets to fly, but also he gets to beat people up that are evil. I don't know. Maybe he went through.
Okay, maybe. So speaking of Yin-Yang Master, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a quick review of a movie and not a drama. But we feel like this is a good crossover, because the movie we're going to talk about is Yin-Yang Master. And actually all of the main characters are our friends from other dramas that we've watched. So you watched 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, and that's, I guess, where Mark Chow gets a lot of his cred, although apparently he's in millions of other things. I watched Ashes, or most of Ashes, and that's where Denlun is sort of super known for his like fantasy like portrayal of like Phoenix, as well as the guy that plays Hasoye. If that's his, I can't remember. I think that's his name. Was in like Bloody Romance, of which I watched approximately 5 episodes. But he was good. Yeah, I'm definitely an expert. And the girl Olivia was also in a bunch of other dramas. So I feel like they're all people that we are familiar with. And so this was a good crossover for us. And those are actually the only movies we watch anyway, the ones that have people we know about. So
Yin-Yang Master. Just to clarify, this one is Yin-Yang Master Dream of Eternity, because there's about to be another movie that comes out with the same plot, apparently.
Okay. we can talk about whether we're going to actually watch that one, because I feel like I don't know. Anyway, the Yin-Yang Master movies are based on a Japanese novel series called Onmyoji, which is about like a Yin-Yang Master, or like some Japanese like priest, cosmologist, like sorcerer type of character. And they live in this universe where demons and humans are sort of coexisting, and there are spirits, and there's some good spirits and bad spirits, and you can kill the bad ones, and it's like the whole sort of fantasy universe. And I think what's interesting about so in general, this one is about our yin yang master, who goes to the capital because a snake, like I guess the snake demon,
it's a big ass snake.
It's a huge snake, CGI, not real, who comes, and then there are these like 4 guardian spirits or whatever from these 4 sects that are going to try to contain the snake spirit. Okay, I'm totally messing this up because we are not the readers of the original source. We are just readers of Wikipedia and like whatever Netflix has as a video description. So this is we watched this on Netflix. It just came out. Apparently it dropped over Christmas in China, but then was pulled almost immediately afterwards because of some scandal that happened with copyright issues 15 years ago. I don't know. We don't care. It was on Netflix. It had actually reasonably good subtitles and good quality viewing. So it's a movie on Netflix. And yeah, so what are some things that you liked about it, or add to my bad description of the plot?
Well, I feel like I'm going to start with a dislike, because the bad description of the plot is one of the things, like, that is because it's not really entirely clear. Like, so much of this, like, I feel like they assume some prior knowledge of who these people are and like what's going on, because there's a lot from, like, I watched the movie and like there were moments that I was like, I don't understand who these people are and what's happening. So I feel like they're, as a standalone, it's a little bit tough. Like, there are some moments where, I mean, it's fine, like you can still sort of understand what's happening, but like there's stuff that's really unexplained to you, which I assume that I would understand if I had read the series. So I don't know. But what I will say as a I did not expect to like this movie that much, because I feel like I struggle with movies that are like, that have so much CGI. And if you watch just the trailer, like it's just like CGI. It's like loud. It's visually like so loud with CGI. But I really appreciated that, even though there was a ton of CGI and these people are doing like magic essentially, there are movies and shows where that means like in a fight scene, the actor is just going, and then like CGI is like coming out, and like the CGI is fighting each other, and the actors are standing there like posturing, but they're not like doing. And in this, there's like actual pretty good fight scenes that I think are pretty exciting and well choreographed.
I would agree with that, because I do like a good fight scene. I think something related that we've talked about is oftentimes the fantasy shows where there's a lot of like posturing. There's also a lot of twirling, because the male actors tend to be like very like delicate. I think that the male actors definitely were a little ripped, and they definitely worked out. You could tell because they were both shirtless at the end, and they didn't look like they were 12-year-old girls. So that contributed to the realism of the fighting. But I think to your point about not too much CGI, or the CGI being appropriate, I think to the story, there was also a lot of it that took place without any CGI. And I think that, the sets and the costumes and the clothes and just, the way that like they have like very serene, like garden scenes, or like the moon, or like, I just felt like the cinematography was really like very visually appealing. And the costumes were beautiful. And I think overall, like, it just was part of this like visual storytelling, where then when the CGI came in with the monsters, you were not like shocked, or it wasn't like too much.
It definitely was like visually interesting without the CGI. I think that's really true, and also related to that, +1 on the buff shirtless men fighting. So that's, who doesn't like that? So another thing that I really appreciated about this is, like, we've seen stories like this before in Hollywood and other um, things, where it's sort of like you bring together a group of people that are supposed to work together, but they don't previously know each other. And everybody's like they're supposed to work together, but everybody's like very suspicious of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how that really played out in the beginning. And they pretty much painted every single person as like a little bit suspicious. And so it was like, it's not your cookie cutter, like, these are the good people, they're wearing white, these are the bad people, they're wearing black or red. And like, let's root for the good people. Like, there was that ambiguity in the beginning that you sort of had to figure, and maybe it was really obvious if you have read the books or whatever, but like, I like that they did the drama in a way where in the beginning you're sort of like on edge, like paying attention to like try to figure out these characters, instead of it just being so like in your face, on the nose, like cliche.
Well, and another thing that's not cliche that I appreciated is that even as you start to figure out what is going on, there still isn't like bad people are always bad in the same way, because oftentimes in Chinese drama, like there's one note that a bad person has, like they are going to be the emperor because their cousins, brothers, like aunts, like daughters, child, was the rightful heir and they were robbed, and so I'm going to put my family on at all costs, and that's their thing. Or like, this man doesn't love me and I'm going to destroy the world to get him to marry me. The villains, I guess the villains are not like, they have like very interesting stories, and they have like they have a set of like very complex motivations, and in the end it's not purely black and purely white, and it's just very well done.
I think that so much Chinese drama has like, it's trying to beat you over the head with a moral lesson, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is wrong, this is bad, this is good. And I really like, and I think that wuxia does this a lot, right? Like, it's this exploration of like, people that seem to be good are sometimes the most evil. And like, and I feel like this drama takes it like a little step forward, with even like, you can be sort of both, and like walk
Yeah.
that line of like,
Yeah.
um you have like complex motivations for the things that you're doing, and it's not just because you are an evil person. So so I like when dramas sort of explore that ambiguity.
Yeah, I wish they would have taken it slightly further, but that's actually one of the things that I liked about the characters and the acting the most, is actually that character, the Hasoye character. I hope I'm saying his name right. I can't remember if that's what it is, but he's like so interesting, because he is a person that does bad things, but has like at the same time all of the characteristics that are usually um, like like the heroic characteristics, because he's like loyal and he's like
But he has
love.
heroic motivations for doing the
Yes.
things that he does. He's just singularly focused on his
Yeah.
goal, and doesn't have like a broader scope. But like, I don't know, like, what, I don't know enough about the like, you know, the universe that this kind of lives in, like, because I wasn't sure like he was a person. Do you know what I
Well,
mean? Because he was like, I'm
yeah.
like, are you even a real person? Like, do you have the capacity to like contemplate the world outside of your one mission? Like,
So this is what I think was interesting, and I did Google this a little bit because I also was confused about what he was, and apparently he's like a spirit thing that is conjured by the master, right?
mhm,
Which is the like Qing Ming's master who dies in the beginning. Whoops.
mhm,
I mean, that's not a spoiler. And I think what they did with him is that they said at the end that Qing Ming's master like made him as powerful as himself, which I guess they say that because it's not normally true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess in creating him, like he created him with the capacity to be like loving, or maybe like he like took on some of like his like master's love for this woman, and like he does evolve past what I think a normal spirit being, like conjured spirit being, is like should do or could normally do, I guess. And that I think makes it like what is unique about that situation. Because I think even when Qingming is talking to him, or they're talking about him and all of these spirit things, it's sort of supposed to be like you just have to like blindly obey like the master's words. But it seems like he's able to evolve and interpret the meaning of like his
Mm-hmm.
master's intentions, and
Yeah,
actually translate the emotions that are behind it.
right. Because they tried to give him that test in the end, see if he would
Yeah.
follow. And the response was not as expected. So I
Yeah.
think it's really, I think that he was like a really interesting character. And that reminded me of another thing that I really appreciated, another element of this storytelling, like that I liked a lot, which was that scene, since you already said that the master died, but it happens like in the first like 10 minutes. So come on.
Yeah.
In the scene where the master dies and he's having this interaction with Qiming, and then the way that they show that, and he turns and he's talking and there's no one there on the snow, then they replay that, they revisit that later.
Two
um
times actually.
and I just, that's such an interesting, I really like
Mm-hmm.
how it's like in that moment he's speaking to all these other people,
Yeah.
um and then they show how he gets to like get that message across. It was just really interesting storytelling that I really liked. So I really liked that part of it as well. So I think that there were some really interesting things about
Okay,
it.
and I'll say one more thing about the characters that I liked is that the female characters were not like cookie cutter Chinese drama character like female characters. Like the princess is actually really complex too, because she doesn't just have like the one note. She is like all of the things that she's supposed to be, and like you feel for her. You are so sad for her, or like you're very happy for her, or like, and you just feel all of the things that she feels, and you can understand like why she chooses to pursue her course of action. And so I liked that they did that with her instead of just making her either like super lovesick or like wimpy.
I do think that there is a common theme with women in ancient Chinese dramas where it's like you have to sacrifice everything, or not even just women, like you have to sacrifice like your own desires because those are selfish for the role that you are supposed to play in the broader world,
Yeah.
and like the position that you were born or put into. And it's like this exploration of like what, I mean,
Yeah.
if I've been teaching you a lesson about this, but like of what might happen if you like follow, if you don't just like give in and
Yeah.
suffer in silence, and like the nobility of just accepting your responsibility in the world, right?
Yeah.
But what would happen if you
Yeah.
just like if you tried to pursue your own desires? So um
But that left okay, but that leads to the ending, which I was like very confused about because I just didn't understand a couple of the things. And I don't really want to spoil the movie because I feel like people should watch it. So I just was I'll just say I was very confused about what happened to the snake. That was like my one, like I still don't understand it, and maybe if I like read some stuff online people would explain it to me. But I felt like as a
just
person who
watching the movie alone, it is
yeah.
confusing what the rules of the dramaverse are
Yes.
relating to the snake. I don't really understand.
Yes. So that
Agreed.
so I wish that was explained better.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously are setting up a sequel, so I guess maybe we can find out more information in the sequel.
Mm-hmm. um Another call out of
Yeah.
going back to a thing that I liked, hair demon. How cool is that? um,
I
but
had some like definite flashbacks to like Adam's family.
yeah, actually, when the hair demon became just hair,
Yeah.
it actually reminded me. You know what it looked like to me is what's that Mickey Mouse thing? The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Like it looked like his
Oh
brains,
yeah.
and, like the shape of it looked like anyway. But like, there's some interesting like um similarities to various other kind of magic, other country magic, fantasy stuff. Um, but I do think that for me, it still had like just too much CGI. Like all of the like the giant wall and the like matrix above the whole city, like um I just it's a lot of CGI and I struggle because this movie was made in 2018.
Uh-huh.
And I think that the problem with CGI is often it becomes really obsolete and it looks really cheesy and horrible. And I don't give it much time before it starts to be like sort of embarrassing, right?
It's not nearly as offensive as some of the other CGI things that we have seen. Untamed, right? Like those are just awful, like the movies. Um, the thing about the CGI that bothered me is that there were some scenes that I just thought were really disgusting and gross, and I just couldn't watch them because I was like grossed out, like lose your lunch kind of grossed out, not yeah. So I don't want to spoil those because I think they're related to the plot, but like the one where he's like extracting like this wormy thing, I was so grossed out by that, and then the like how the snake comes into the world, I was so grossed out by that. I can't even.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are really gross.
So, um, yeah, that was. So, would you watch this again, and would you recommend it?
Okay, I don't know that I would. Maybe I would watch it again if I to like get clarity on some of the details, but I definitely would be fast forwarding through some of the scenes. I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. Like, it had more story and like more like interesting character development than I expected from a movie. Just because the movies that we've watched so far have been like pretty disappointing, but this got actually close to a movie that like I would watch. So I enjoyed it. Now, does I think the real question is, would you watch the sequel, and or are you going to watch the other one that's dropping this month that's the same story?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure we could watch. I don't know how like we would watch the other. Like it's coming out
Yeah.
in Chinese cinemas, so I don't know at what point it will be available streaming. Um, but I don't know that I need to watch this story again. Like I enjoyed the movie, and I think a lot of it is that I thought the acting was really good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is kind of an experienced cast of actors, and I think it's less so with the other one. I'm not sure, but
I
like
don't know who's in
I
that
don't
one.
actually I don't know any of those people. So
Yeah.
I think that I'm not sure I'm ready like right away to
Mm-hmm.
watch another version of this movie. It feels weird to do that. But perhaps that won't be a problem because we won't be able to watch it. I would recommend this movie, but I'm not sure I would watch it again just because like it's just so much like movies with this much CGI like kind of bother me. Like it's just too much
Yeah.
visually
I mean,
noisy.
I think that so would you watch the sequel?
Probably. I
Yeah.
liked it enough.
Yeah. I'm definitely in it for like the relationship between the like Marshall and Dinlin, because I
Oh
thought
yeah.
that was kind of an interesting thing they did with it at the end.
I was like, is this BL? Like that would be exciting. But I
Yeah.
liked how they like, like at the end it just got really like they got real close. And I was like, I guess like you guys went through a
Bunch of
death
stuff.
defying
Yeah.
trauma bonding something, but like I didn't really expect it to get like I don't know. And it's also that whole like, you know, I like that, we've talked about our criticism of like, BL adaptation and stuff. But like I do think that because it wasn't BL, they were able to show like two men expressing their like feelings for one another in an open way that is very like, I feel like that's a pro for culture and society, for men to be able to also express their feelings and have friendships.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I also really appreciate that relationship. I think that they had good acting chemistry too. So
I think so, because it was once they got over their mutual suspicion of each other, which is kind of comical, but the way that they like went all in on the eyebrows. Like once they got over their suspicion of each other and realized they had a common goal, I feel like their relationship got better. And then they were able to talk about like the real things about like their real lives and like growing up a certain way, or like stuff that traumatized them in their youth. So you're right.
yeah.
Whether or not that was meant to be BL, like people should have relationships where they're
Yeah.
like, and really, like my mom was killed by this demon, so that's why I'm a little bit like this.
Dudes of the world,
Yeah.
talk to your friends.
Yeah. Okay, well, we hope to get back to drama watching at some point soon, if there are any dramas worth watching.
I'm like into the Dolo continent, so
okay. I haven't started watching that yet, but I did finish watching last night something called Tongming Wei, which has no English subs, but I actually was super amused by it, and it's not serious. But, I did enjoy. It's so short. It's 24 episodes.
I liked it. I have started it, and I also like it, and I just like sometimes I have to pay more attention because there's no subs, so I can't cheat. I have to like actually listen and try to understand and I have to watch it at regular speed.
But I feel like there are more dramas coming, so hopefully Dramaland will give us like great Chinese New Year gifts. But thanks for joining us. If you want to talk with us about what you think about this movie or anything else that we talk about, leave us a comment, follow us on any of the socials, and we'll catch you next time.
We're only on Twitter.
Oh, we're only on Twitter. Well,
follow us on Twitter. Okay, bye.